Hey, everybody. On this week's episode, we had some recording technical difficulties and some digitizing of some voices, some gremlins, you may call them. We thought this week's episode was too good to just scrap completely and restart. There's a lot of good content we have out there, but we just want to let you know there's a few minutes throughout the course of it where you're going to hear some digitized voices and just some problems with some audios. They don't last long. We really hope you enjoy the episode, and thank you for listening.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Disney with the Duck. This is episode 6. I'm your host, Carly, and I am joined today by my awesome co-hosts, Kevin, Jean, John, and Jeff, and tiny co-host, Crosby there. If you're on the YouTube version, you should definitely check him out. He's a cutie. If you're not on the YouTube version and you're just listening, you should definitely go and check him out on YouTube because he's a doll. But we've got a super fun show for you. I am very, very excited about this one. Well, kind of because it was my idea and kind of because all of us have some pretty cool ideas that I think Disney should snap up. But before we get to that, what's new and exciting, everybody? Nothing is new or exciting.
Well, Carly, you already mentioned mine. Having my son Crosby help me co-host this episode is pretty cool. So I get to spend some extra time with him because of some family things we've got going on. So get to hang out with this little guy.
Stills, Nash, and Young, they're already in bed?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the rest of them. Yep.
Have you heard that one yet?
No, I actually have not heard that one yet.
Really?
I did have my mom ask me if we named him after Bill Cosby. But he's Crosby. So, yeah. Like, Mom, I'm not naming my son after Bill Cosby.
So he was named after the famous Pittsburgh Penguin superstar.
No.
There's a Pittsburgh Penguin superstar.
Yeah,
So
who's a
Crosby.
turd. Sorry for any of our listeners who are Penguin fans. But no,
Did you
that was
say
my
he
one
was a
concern
turd?
with that was my one concern with naming him Crosby was that it was Cindy Crosby, plays for the Penguins and has beat the Red Wings in the playoffs a few times. So no, he's after Crosby from the show Parenthood. So Dax Shepard's character on Parenthood, which is probably one of my all-time favorite TV shows.
Oh
So
my
that's what we
gosh.
got.
I'm gonna risk disappointing people on yet another episode and say I've never watched Parenthood, but
Me either.
Yeah.
You need to
never.
fix that. You should fix that.
I'll add it to my ever-growing list. If anybody, this is my new and exciting. Are you guys ready? After last episode, when we discussed the fact that I have never eaten sweet potatoes, I went and tried sweet potato fries with brown sugar butter. And without brown sugar butter. And I hate to break it to you, everyone, but ew. I stand by my former statement that I am not a sweet potato person. But now I've actually tried them. So that
Carly,
was my new and exciting.
I do believe your taste buds are broken, and you should probably get that looked at by a medical professional.
My taste is completely broken. I mean, you do see
Ouch.
this guy sitting next to me.
So my new exciting is I'm meeting with another voice lawyer tomorrow. We have some new things to discuss, I guess.
Oh man, if that's the worst thing I've ever said to you, that's amazing.
What about you, Kevin? Anything going on in your life down Tennessee?
Staying really busy, trying to fight this cold with the weather change. We went from 70 degrees this week, and tomorrow we're supposed to have 1.5 inches of snow and then 5 inches the next day. So
Ew.
getting ready for the snow. Hopefully we get to sled one more time with the kids. So excited about that.
Oh, you're a snow lover?
As long as it stays off the road. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. How about
Is
you,
that-
Jean?
So we've talked about already that my daughter won a bid to summit the national, cheer championship the end of April, the beginning of May. Typically we go and we've stayed before a day or two extra at Walt Disney World. There's another family of parks in that same town. I don't know of them, but anyway, we've decided to stay a couple of days and because we've never been there. And so we're going to do that. And so I booked that today. we're excited. We're excited about the Disney part of the trip. We're excited about the last 2 days that are at some other place. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be
The park which shall not be named.
Yep. The park of which we do not speak.
Awesome. Jeff, what's exciting other than your divorce lawyer meeting tomorrow?
We are in countdown to we got a flying pig race coming up that Kevin's going to be joining me for in Cincinnati, and Jody, who's not with us. So we're in final preps of that, and that's going to go miserably since I haven't ran more than 3 times since Dopey. So
Okay.
It'll be a survival, but
We'll get there.
yep, we'll get through the finish line and we'll have fun doing it. So that's
Nice.
my exciting stuff to get back out now that the weather's breaking and get some training in.
I think I just remembered I'm doing that too.
The 5K.
The 5K.
But Riley's doing it.
Oh,
so
yeah. So we're walking.
Yeah, we'll
okay,
walk
I'm
it.
safe. We're missing Lonnie tonight. I think he has the most exciting new thing happening. He's not with us tonight because he's in Alaska, like living the dream. Sled dogs and all kinds of glaciers and cool, exciting adventures. So I can't wait till he comes back and we can hear about his cool trip.
I think he said he's going to try to. Have you ever seen the? It might be too soon, but the documentary Grizzly Man. I think he said he wanted to try to get up close to some bears and just kind of maybe put some of that bait in his pockets and just kind of see what happens. I don't know.
That'll definitely help his training as well. They'll definitely
He'll get a PR.
some speed work be happening there.
He said he didn't, some people would say you just have to be, faster than the person you're with. So he said, I just have to be faster than the person behind Irie because I just trip them and we're set.
Oh, yeah.
Pure love. All right. Well, let's get into the show. I'm super excited. So we were throwing ideas around and I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was my idea. Not that I'm laying claim, but to take an existing ride at Walt Disney World, any of the 4 parks, or it could be a show or some type of attraction in the parks and retheme it. So take something that you don't think is just perfect as it is and update it however you want. So we kind of threw that idea out and then suddenly Jeff was like, here are the rules. And he comes in and steps all over my toes and starts coming up with these crummy rules. He was like, oh, it should be 1 per park. No, because half of mine are in Magic Kingdom. And then he's like, oh, well, it has to be, you can't take a boat ride and turn it into a roller coaster. Bull crap. Watch us. We're doing it anyway. So I guess the rules are that there are no rules, which is the best.
And I'm pretty sure I'm getting voted off the podcast after this. So it's nice talking with everybody. We appreciate you listening. And I guess this is my last episode.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
So who wants to go first with their thing that's really not my idea at all?
I'll throw one out there. So
All right.
one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately is my son loves Tomorrowland Speedway, but those cars have to burn so much fuel because you can smell it when you walk into the park, right? And it's located in Tomorrowland. So when we look at the future of automotive vehicles and that type of thing, it's an electric future, right? So what I'd like to do is take Tomorrowland Speedway and switch it out with electric vehicles and make it more of like a go-kart style where you're actually racing and you can change lanes. So, there might be some legal issues there with Disney, but that's up to the lawyers to figure out.
That's okay.
For me, I want to change that ride into a purely electric go-kart and let kids get out there and just race around the track and have fun with it, because I think that'll fit the theming of Tomorrowland a little bit better than what they have there now for the Tomorrowland Speedway. And I think it would be something really fun to be able to teach kids about electric vehicles and just how we can clean up the environment a little bit.
And I don't know about you, but with gas prices,
Oh.
Disney is probably all over that idea right now.
It costs them $27 per rider on that, I think, right now with gas.
Right?
Oh. Is that an actual number or did you just make that up?
No, I made that up, but I think it's pretty accurate.
It's
pretty
totally
close.
believable.
It's close.
Hey, did y'all hear that Taco Bell is now the only place that you can still get gas for $1.39?
I don't want that gas though. You can keep it.
Nah,
I think
If I can run my Jeep on it, I'll put it into my Jeep.
That's
I
right.
think we should have threw the caveat out here at the beginning of this that our ideas are just ideas. Any legal ramifications or design issues or flaws that might have to do with here, Disney needs to fix those. Right. They're in charge of fixing that. They're just taking our ideas and making it better.
Sure.
But these are just ideas for it. So.
But I do love that idea.
That's
and
a great
I think
idea.
it's really cool if you, I know like some people aren't all about, connecting it to Disney movies, but I think it would be super fun if we connected it to maybe like Meet the Robinsons is very futuristic. So it could almost be like, spacey looking vehicles or flying vehicles. You could make them out, or this kind of steps on my own toes with my ride idea, but it could be, a WreckIt Ralph Vanellope kind of raceway.
I like it.
See, that would be fun. I love WreckIt Ralph.
I love WreckIt Ralph. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be super fun. So any other improvements to John's idea?
I have a similar idea. I'm going to save it.
Okay.
Right.
You're saving
turn,
it?
I'm saving it. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not saving it because it's not going to be my. I'm gonna. It'll be a mulligan, so to speak. I've got another one. So I like that idea. I'm an old guy though. I know it's Tomorrowland, but I'm thinking throw it back just a little bit. And when I think about vehicles, cars, and I think about like growing up in Disney, the thing that I think of, you guys are all younger than me. You're probably thinking, cars. I mean, that's too on the nose, right? No, Herbie the Love Bug, man. How about all the cars at Tomorrowland Speedway be Volkswagens? And with that, you were talking about the smell of the gas, the fuel, and the smell of the engines. I mean, it just takes it up another notch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's a fun idea.
And wasn't Herbie just redone not that long ago?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to call it,
they haven't really capitalized on it. I feel like that would be the moment. That would be cool. I'm not, and with the current speed of the cars, I think that's accurate with the Volkswagen Bug, because I don't think there's anything racy about a Volkswagen Bug or Tomorrowland Speedway.
No, not at all.
Kevin, what's your first idea?
All right, so I'll stay in the Magic Kingdom. I've got one for each park. Like you said, I tried to stick to the rules, but I broke them a couple times. But on this one, I tried to stick with it. So my idea is to take the Winnie the Pooh ride and retheme it to Mickey Through Time. And so my idea is to have an actual Mickey ride, take what they used to have at Toontown Fair, take the outside of Winnie the Pooh and make it like Mickey's house. So you're walking by, you see Pluto's house, you can see his garden, just like in the old days when in Toontown Fair. And so you walk through the ride queue. The ride queue is actually inside his house, so you can kind of see, his closet with the same outfit over and over. You see all of his little things, and then you get in. The ride car is actually replaced with his red convertible. So you hop in the red convertible, and you go through the ride just like Winnie the Pooh, except each different room is a different iteration of Mickey Through Time. So it would start out, black and white, Steamboat Willie style, going to the 50s style, and then the 60s, and then in the 70s and 80s. So then just kind of showing how Mickey traveled through, traveling with Mickey through time, and then kind of ending back at his house, and, kind of almost like a Back to the Future kind of spin. But it's something that I think that Mickey doesn't get enough love. I mean, he's got the ride at Hollywood Studios, but that's kind of the newer Mickey. But there's enough people out there that love the old school Mickey and just kind of see the history of it. I think that would do him some good service.
Absolutely.
And Kevin, I think having that in the Magic Kingdom would be amazing, because that's really his park, right? And he has no ride there. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I'm curious. We all know Minnie has a new outfit. Does Mickey have a new outfit now?
I don't
think.
I think so.
He's still wearing pants though, right?
Yes.
Pants, no shirt.
And
Donald doesn't wear pants. It always bothered me a little bit, but I'm glad Mickey's still wearing pants.
Only in the running shirt, he wears shirt and pants.
Yeah.
That is an awesome idea, Kevin.
And you kind of touched on one of my ideas. I actually had one Disney through the years. I'm going to make people super angry with all of my choices. I dislike Carousel of Progress like it's nobody's business. It is boring as all get out. I can't stand the music. The hairstyle on the main guy, is it John? Is creepy no matter what. And then he makes this goodness awful comment like, you know, the daughter like yells down, "Daddy, I'm indecent." And he's like, "Oh, it's just friends. They're friends. It's okay." I'm like, it's not okay. They're friends or not.
Hashtag me too, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Man, she definitely needs a better role model. So let's just, I want Carousel of Progress gone. But I think the building has a really fun idea to it. And I think it could be Disney through the years so that we could see, Kevin, like you said in a ride, Mickey changing as you turn in each of those carousel areas. It could be Mickey changing. It could be him surrounded by different movies throughout the years so that you would see a progression of animation from Snow White all the way through, you know, new Pixar stuff through live action, and just kind of highlighting some of the cool Disney technology that has progressed. So you could have very old style animatronics at the beginning. And as it goes through the carousel, you could have the more modern, almost shaman avatar style thing at the end that looks like a human and just creeps me out beyond belief. So I love your idea and I like it better than mine, but I'm still throwing mine out there because Carousel of Progress needs to go.
Carly, I agree with you on that one, that Carousel of Progress just needs to go.
Jeff, what's your idea?
It seems like everybody wants to rework Tomorrowland. So it's apparent that's the one that we need to update. And I will also stay in Tomorrowland with this one. And I think we need to do some work on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. I think when that came out, it had some good ideas, but it's just kind of lost its time. So my idea, sticking to the rules of how it should be, and keeping it
Jeff has to have rules.
an interactive game still, and maybe throwing it to like an Incredibles theme, but kind of bring in some of the elements of Test Track, where how you walk in through the beginning of it, you design a car, that you walk into the beginning of Buzz Lightyear, and you design your own superhero. So you can pull from different superpowers and stuff as you go through. And then when you get into your ride vehicle, depending on what the superpowers you have and the one that whoever's in the car with you, they could possibly combine to do some other cool things as you're attacking the villains going through Metropolis, because that's kind of a futuristic house too.
Yeah.
So you could use that to kind of make it interactive. I've never done the Spider-Man web slinger game. I know they had the wrist thing that shoots through, so I was kind of thinking something of that sort of technology for your superpowers to interact versus just trying to hit a tiny little circle with a laser pointer. So, here's Carly saying, "I like your idea, but this is how I do my idea differently and make it better."
No.
I like it.
I was just thinking because you said you would design your superhero, and then I started thinking no capes, darling, no capes. But
No
totally
capes.
You can have capes if you want.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be super awesome that at the end of the ride, Disney's all about monetizing everything. So at the end of the ride, you know how at Avatar and Pandora, sorry, I'm stabbing you with my pen. In Pandora, you can make your own avatar at the end and it looks like you. It would be totally cool if they had that at the end of your superhero ride. Do you have a name for it?
Not yet. Nobody else has names much either.
Loser. If you had the ability to make a figure, I was going to say a doll, and I realized boys would be all like,
bobblehead.
doll.
It's an action figure.
Bobblehead, action figure. Yeah.
Yes, an action figure that was just whatever you had designed on the screen. And that would be so
cool.
fun.
I like that idea.
So who's got the next round? We'll start the next round through.
All right.
Genie, you want to
I
take it?
have so many. I had none. I have so many now. Okay.
See, it's community.
So I have like several in Hollywood studios. I mean, just simply I could say change every ride to Star Wars, but that's probably not a good idea.
That's the one that made my youngest cry, by the way.
So I'm going to start off simple with one of my favorite rides at Epcot is Mission Space. Okay. But I mentioned earlier, there's some really good movies or really bad movies that Disney never took advantage of for any of the parks. So rather than Mission Space, the name of this ride, it's going to be rethemed. The premise is the same, but it's going to be Mission Black Hole. You've never
I
seen
have
Black
no
Hole
idea.
from the 80s. You need to go on Disney Plus tonight. It's terrible.
Is it called Black Hole?
The Black Hole.
Gotcha.
It's a live action space movie. Came out. They took advantage of sort of the science fiction Star Wars kind of. It was somewhere in between like Star Wars and I think Empire Strikes Back. But you can watch it on Disney Plus. And be. I think it's pretty terrible.
You're not really selling it here, Gene.
I was just expecting a little bit different reaction, so you can cut all of this.
I've just never heard of it. So you would keep the ride basically the same.
Basically the same.
Elements.
Yeah, you could change some of the elements like the ship and some of the controls and maybe what the mission is rather than going to the moon. You could, they're trying to get out of a black hole and it's a big ship anyway.
Can you make a version of it that won't make people puke? Because I've rode Mission Space once on the green side and I can never do it again. I can't do the green side.
Yeah, it's for the tougher people. That ride.
Not for you sissies.
I just like stuff that spins around. That gets me, but that does not. Right. I love that. I love that kind of ride. I could ride it again and again and again.
Riley took a friend with her to Disney. Had never been to Disney before, and they went on Mission Space. And she was just saying the other night, she said, when I got in there, I was like, what are these barf bags for? She was kind of freaking out. So, if we could get rid of the barf bag situation, that might be a benefit.
I can't really expand on this one, Gene, because I've never watched a movie, but we'll take your word for it.
Let's scrap that. Okay, that's a terrible idea.
Oh, no,
okay, so
totally.
who likes the Country Bears Jamboree?
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, okay. I love that show.
He does.
What's a beloved animated musical animal movie from your childhood?
Return of the Jedi.
Those don't count as bears.
Ewoks, they're little bears.
They're not.
Close enough. The Jungle Book. That ride.
Oh, yeah.
That attraction should be rethemed with maybe the orangutans. The orangutans and Baloo and Shere Khan and all that singing like snippets of different songs from the Jungle Book. It would be so cool.
Totally.
So much better than Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it would be so much more uplifting because when you start to listen to lyrics, there was blood on the floor. And I think the very first time I actually paid attention, my jaw dropped because I was sitting next to my child who's like, eyeballs get as big as teacup saucers. And she's like, why is there blood everywhere? I don't know. Just ignore the bear. It's killing people. But it would be cool if they also not only sang things from Jungle Book, but also like parodied some other movie music too. I think that would be so cool, having Baloo sing something from, a more modern movie. All right, who's up next? John, you got one?
So this surprised even myself because I love Soarin', the ride, but I'm going to change it, right? Marlessa had said that you should be an Aladdin ride where you're riding on the magic carpet and you're getting out of the Cave of Wonders. And so I'm shamelessly stealing her idea here, but I've been thinking about that all week since I read her comment. And I'm like, what would be a good ride for that would be Soarin', and just have it set up where you're flying through the Cave of Wonders. And when you come out, you fly over Agrabah, over the palace. I think that would be awesome because growing up in the 90s, Aladdin was one of my favorite movies, right? I loved Aladdin, I loved Mermaid, and I loved Beauty and the Beast. So this would bring something from my childhood into Epcot. Thematically, it doesn't really fit, I don't think, with the park, but I don't care because I love that movie, and I would love to see something where, or even like Flight of Passage. Either one of those, change it to where you're flying out of the Cave of Wonders. And I just thought it would probably fit a little bit better in Soarin' than it would in Pandora. So that's what I want to do. I want to scrap Soarin' and throw in an Aladdin ride where you're escaping the Cave of Wonders on a magic carpet.
That's a good idea. They're not changing. They're not changing the Pandora ride because there's another. Don't they have like 7 more movies filmed already? I don't know.
Yeah, until like 2050 or something. There's one coming out every few years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a great idea.
I love that idea. I'm like sitting here trying to think how I would maximize it, and I wouldn't. I love everything about it. So
I like it just for the fact that I was thinking about Soarin'. It's a really good ride, but this last time it just seems old now. The footage, I don't know what, but I was just thinking that's just a ride that could be updated. That's a great update, John.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, we were having a similar conversation in the car the other day with Riley that some of those rides, especially with the screens, when you experience it over and over and over again, those moments that used to like make your stomach flip and make you feel like you were, on Soarin' and actually flying, they start to kind of wean out. They're not as stomach flipping, as butterfly feeling. But I think updating it every once in a while to something new would definitely keep that excitement going, especially for the people that go and go and go. So
for sure.
Who's up next?
I'll go next.
All right.
'Cause I got one that anybody's going to go with. I think this is.
We're all going to be against it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Completely obscure and nobody else will have
Maybe
the same
not.
idea. So I think in Animal Kingdom, Dino Land USA, the whole thing just needs reworked. So, but the original part of Animal Kingdom, there's supposed to be a Beastly Kingdom part of that. So that has like the mythical creatures and things that's supposed to through. I think the first ride that they put into the Beastly Kingdom section where Dino Land is, changing Dinosaur and making that whole area just as the creature villains. So they're not like the people villains. So it's not going to have like the real people, but the creatures in the different movies and shows.
I need examples of creature villains.
Like a mudhorn?
Or
I don't know what that is.
Kevin does.
A Rancor.
Oh, gotcha.
So something like that.
Those are villains? I like the Rancor. Anyway.
My example to this would be taking Dinosaur and turning it into Escape from Bald Mountain and making it part of Fantasia. Most of Fantasia I really didn't care for, but I always liked the Night at Bald Mountain scene. And Chernabog is chasing you through an Escape from Bald Mountain as a dark ride, kind of following the similar kind of track from Dinosaur, where you're in a ride with things chasing it down through there. So that's my obscure idea that probably most people have no idea what I'm talking about.
I like it, but I would add some Star Wars too. I think that we don't know much about the Mythosaur, but I think we will soon.
Oh yeah,
and add a Mythosaur to that, which
Mythosaur skeleton. Yeah,
that's it.
So
go ahead, Kevin.
So Jeff, you picked up on one of them that I spent quite a bit of time on, and I think I can add a little bit to yours to make it just a little bit different, but a little bit different spin, and add the kids in on it too. So I wanted to put we're the Disney with the ducks. I wanted to put a DuckTales spin on Dino Land. So your idea with the creatures, but also having kind of a mystery / adventure, like geocaching kind of thing. Maybe doing scavenger hunts across the area. Maybe converting the boneyard into some kind of, archaeological dig, and then bringing in with the beasts, like you were saying. I think that would make it really cool. One of the ideas I had was taking the Triceratops spin and making it like Launchpad's flying school or something like that.
That's a great idea.
So I love that.
But something that I ran by my kids. My kids are 7 and 8, so they love collecting little things and doing that kind of thing. So I think if they could set up like geocaching, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but
Yeah.
so setting that up around the entire, not just that area, but around the whole park, and where you could use Disney, My Disney Experience, things like that on the app, going and finding, solving clues and mysteries, and you would find like little gold coins. And then if you find all the different gold coins, you can trade them in for a pin or something cool, like a souvenir that the kids could have. But
That's
that was
awesome. For people who aren't familiar with geocaching, if you haven't done it, you should. It's a free app, either iTunes or Android. You can pay for upgrades, but you basically have
Worldwide scavenger hunt.
It's a worldwide scavenger hunt. You go on and you can find caches. That's what they call them. They're little boxes of, tradable items that are hidden, and you'd be amazed at how many are around your house and your like local town that you probably walked by 100 times and you never knew it, but you go out and you find them and you sign your little name on a log, and there's usually some items for the kids to trade. You put something in and you take something out, and it's super fun. But it also kind of reminds me of what they have at Magic Kingdom.
The DVC pins?
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was actually talking about Back by Pirates, where they have that interactive scavenger hunt, and you go with clues and then you end up back and you get a card and so many cards, and then you can trade it in. Well, you used to be able to trade it in for a fast pass. I don't know what they do now. But I think that's something Disney's already capitalized on, and they've kind of put their spin on it. So that wouldn't be, out of the realm of possibility. And I love the launch pad, flying school idea. I think that's super cool.
The DVC shops have done something similar too, where you go through and you take pictures of you in front of certain landmarks. They'll give you like a small picture. You got to find where it is, and then if you get so many of them in the parks, then you get like a little button. So it kind of the same line of what you're saying, Kevin, that you can do. So they kind of have a basic infrastructure for it. They just need to make it bigger and better. That's a great idea.
I think that'd be awesome in Animal Kingdom too, because it's a huge park.
It is.
So you could really get people out and exploring it a little bit more.
Yeah, and it'd be fun for the kids too. It's something you don't have to wait in line for. It probably wouldn't. I'm sure they would have a price for it because it's Disney, but I'm sure it would be low cost, right? So something relatively low cost, entertain kids for an hour or two, be perfect. That would be so fun.
I love that.
They used to have. I don't know if you guys ever did the Phineas and Ferb adventure through Epcot.
Yeah, same idea, right? Where it's geolocating on your phone and.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and that was free too. So you didn't get anything for it except for making things interact, like the clock in Germany or the volcano in Mexico. You can make that explode, things like that, or find the sword in Norway.
Yeah. But it was super cool. Yeah, I love that.
Idea.
Well, in the same thread of Animal Kingdom, I hate the dinosaur ride. Like, I don't know if any of you love it. Jeff makes us go on it. Every picture that I have off of the dinosaur ride, my eyes are closed because large animatronics freak me out. I do not like big animatronics. They're creepy. So I was thinking, how could I make dinosaurs something that I would love to go on and that it would still fit the theming of Animal Kingdom? And I thought about you guys actually, and the pictures that you have from Animal Kingdom. And Carl and the Up characters are in the background of some of them. So they've kind of woven Carl into that part of the park for the marathon. And I thought it would be a perfect place for some Up themed rides. And I thought about making it the snipe hunting adventure, because if you are an Up fan, Carl Fredricksen sends Russell out on a snipe hunt, and that's when he finds Kevin. And Kevin is my favorite girl ever. Sorry, Riley. But Kevin's amazing. I love her. And I thought it would be a really cool ride if it was like back to Paradise Falls and you were trying to find more of Kevin's descendants or her babies. And you could be in a car, or you could change it to like hot air balloon style, because that's what they were on, dirigibles. And it could be zooming through. You could be chased by dogs. You could be chased by, the bad guy or whatever. You could be chased by more crazy animals that are in Paradise Falls. I just think at the end, it would be so cool if they had Kevin there at the end, or more Kevins. a whole room of Kevin's. It's like my dream. But it would definitely be way less scary than that giant creepy dinosaur growling at you and all of your children crying because they're terrified. So I plead with Disney, please, please, please change Dinosaur. It's awful.
You're really going to anger my son, Caleb. So
does he love Dinosaur?
Oh my gosh. I have to go on it every trip. And I'm an old man and my back hurts. And that ride is just not good for my body. But he loves it. So we go on it every trip, at least once, sometimes more than that.
Oh my gosh. I hate the guy at the beginning who's talking. And I love Claire Huxtable. I don't know what her real name is. Felicia Rashad. Sorry, I butchered that. She's great, but I hate the guy in the beginning.
Who is it? It's that's the guy from CSI.
Oh, he's just so awful. He's just so corny. And then, as you go through the ride, it's just a whole bunch of giant, creepy animatronics, and half the time they don't work properly. And then there's the one that's like gagging on another dinosaur as it's eating him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just awful. So it needs to go. Just needs to go. All right, who's up next?
All right, so I'm going to destroy another classic Disney attraction and redo Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
so, yep, I know. This is not winning me any points. Please send all your hate mail to Jeffrey Positano at Hotmail. So here's my rationale for it, right? I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love the movies. I love the ride. But a few years ago, while I was in China for work, I was able to go to the Shanghai Disneyland. And that ride that they have there is so amazing. It's like the perfect ride. It uses screens to make you think you're diving underwater. It's just so much more fun than the one we have here. The one we have here is campy and kitschy, and it's fun, and I love it. But I think we need to basically just take what Shanghai has and copy and paste it in English over here and just, let it go. So that's my next one. Is I'm really, I think, angering a lot of folks with my suggestions here. But
originally I was going to be irritated with you, but after you talked about the Shanghai Pirates of the Caribbean with us once, I went on YouTube and found a video like walkthrough or ride through. Oh my gosh. Like just watching it on the TV is amazing. I can only imagine what it's like in person. It definitely blows the Walt Disney World Pirates of the Caribbean ride out of the water by far.
Yeah, it's amazing. It probably is my favorite ride I've ever been on anywhere at any park. I love it. And I think that it's so updated and the technology's new. And then you ride ours here and it's a classic ride, right? But it's also a classic ride. And I think it needs some updates because after you've been through it a few times, it's not the same anymore. I don't know. So that's my proposal is we scrap what we have, bring in the new one.
I like it.
I'm
game.
Good idea.
All right. I've got one.
All right.
So I'm going to go take us back to Epcot and my favorite ride, and I want to redo it. And it's Figment Journey to Imagination. I want to rewind it back to the way it was in the very beginning. I want to put Dreamfinder back in, keep the steampunk, retro futuristic, take the silliness out, and teach kids about imagination. And also that area, I want to kind of make that an imagination area. So the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, I want to make that like a Disney Imagineering and ILM Studios showcase. So
nice.
I want to showcase the volume that they used to make the Mandalorian episodes where you're like inside of a virtual movie set that can be changed anytime. Just teaching kids about the technology of film and movies and Imagineering. That's what got me into engineering in the first place. Still my favorite ride. I really miss the old ride, the way it was back in the 80s. So I think that they could make it really cool and update and current without completely destroying it and making it where it's not really where it's a little more scientific. It talks more about teaching kids the power of their imagination, unlocking their mind and the world and things like that. So that's kind of the original idea of it. It's kind of lost some of that, I think, but bringing the creativity back.
I know Riley loves the original version of that too. She calls actually Dr. Nigel Channing as her nemesis.
Yeah.
I mean, she's that diehard into the
Gut
original
wrenching.
version. So, would you bring back the Rainbow Hallway too?
Yes.
So, just updating it
Not even a
to
question.
new technology,
Yeah.
but the original idea.
Because it shows off fiber optics and things like that. I mean, I think those things are important to learn and make it fun. So
I love that idea, Kevin, because I also am a huge Figment fan, but you're right. That ride kind of needs to bring more to the table, right?
it's too silly.
Yeah, I think this would be great.
Hey, just curious, how familiar do y'all think I could possibly be with that ride?
Like the old version or the new
Like
one?
any of it?
Have you never
Have
been
you heard
on
of-
Figment?
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
If I showed you a
None
picture of a purple
whatsoever.
dinosaur, would you know who it is?
Here he
Purple
is.
Yeah,
dragon.
I know who Figment is, but
This
I
is
don't
the
know
original
that.
Figment
Oh,
from the 80s.
I gotta say, Figment
No,
current version holds a special place in my heart because Marathon Weekend, that was the first ride that me and John rode together. It was just the two of
very
us.
cute.
Carly went somewhere. I don't know where she was.
I had to go to the bathroom
But-
and it was slow.
So me and John, we rode Figment. We didn't get a picture of it, but it was our first ride we rode together.
That's
So
one of my biggest regrets is not getting a picture of us together on that ride.
It's a very
Oh, man.
touching moment.
It was.
It was beautiful.
A tear was shed.
It is absolutely bewildering to me how the heck I'm on a podcast with a bunch of Disney people and I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
All right.
So the next idea is a string of Hollywood Studios attractions. I think that could be made so much better. The first one is there's one Beauty and the Beast. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that.
No.
This one is called Hello There.
Nice.
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Obi-Wan.
the real hero of Star Wars. And it's going to be a musical, and the new series is coming out in May. It's going to be
Oh
perfect.
my gosh.
Gene,
A
can you
musical?
sing a few bars of any of the songs that you would include?
Well, so hello there. That's it. That's all. I got.
That's a good start.
It's my
That's better than I
favorite.
thought. I love it.
I'm envisioning the end of Hawkeye. Did anybody watch the Hawkeye series where they
So wait,
had
don't stop. You're taking that's the next idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
Here you go.
So the next idea is there is an attraction and it's called hold on. It's called For the First Time in Forever, a Frozen sing-along. No, we're doing away with that. This one's going to be called I Can Do This All Day, Rogers the Musical.
Nice.
So staying in Hollywood Studios,
Yeah.
I got one that this is kind of a stretch and it needs some work. So I'll throw out the premise and then you guys make it better. You can maximize this. This one can be maximized, but don't scrap my idea. So I know there's some licensing rights, so we'd have to work that out a little bit. But that's again goes back to the lawyers.
Let the lawyers take care of that.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Going down through Sunset Boulevard, and you have the 1920s Tower of Terror at the end, and you have that whole area just reminds you of the old timey Hollywood.
Mhm.
And then you make the left, and you go to Rock and Roller Coaster that just doesn't really fit into that.
Mhm.
So, plus Aerosmith's kind of a little bit past its prime. I love
Sorry,
Aerosmith,
Steven Tyler. Please don't stop listening.
but it's a little past its prime.
Yeah.
So I am taking Rock and Roller Coaster, gutting it, and I know there's been some ideas for it already, but this is going to be Doctor Strange's Time Coaster.
Nice.
So it's going to take you as you
beautiful.
launch through,
That's great.
and it's still going to be a roller coaster, but it's going to send you back in time through the 1920s Hollywood. And
So, like, alternative timelines.
Yeah, like a multiverse.
It's a multiverse. Yeah, right.
I like that a lot, Jeff,
Exactly.
because that was one of my ideas too, was to change Rock and Roller Coaster, but you made it way better. Mine was we scrap Aerosmith and we just replace with Foo Fighters. That right there is a million times increase to how awesome.
Steve
that
Miller
ride
Band, something.
is. Sure, yeah, that too. Or we take that, and we were talking pre-show about a Rapunzel ride, right? And as we're talking, Jeff's going through talking about how he would change that. I'm like, that would make a good ride to be a Rapunzel ride. And you're flowing on her hair and you're going upside down. And, kind of how she's spinning around the tower as she's painting and sweeping and singing at the beginning there. So, yeah. So
now I kind of like both of them.
But I do agree, Jeff, that we need to do something with Rock and Roller Coaster.
I've heard a lot of other people talk about different ideas I really liked. Some people say about making it the Doors roller coaster from Monsters Inc., where they're riding on the doors. Somebody else I've listened to on a podcast says turning it into the Gummy Bears Quick Tunnels, which would be awesome. So I think either of those would work too. But
I love the Doctor Strange though. If you pull in, even Crosby likes the Doctor Strange idea. Yeah. Pulling in the different timelines from the different decades, I think that would be sweet to tie it into. You could even have flashes of like the Hollywood Tower Hotel in like its prime time days.
They're being built even as it's going through.
That would be super cool to tie them both together somehow. Crossover. So, all right. I don't know if I should destroy everyone's love or if I should fix something in Magic Kingdom. Let's go fix something in Magic Kingdom first. I was so excited about this idea. It's not mine. I have to give credit to Riley. But we love Hall of Presidents in the way that I can go in whenever it's freaking hot at Disney and I can just sit and no one cares if I pay attention or not. I've never napped in there. Okay, maybe I've napped in there. But there is nothing going on. It's a whole bunch of animatronics that are creepy as all get out. Like I love history. I mean, I teach 3 history classes for crying out loud, but it's not my jam. So we kind of spitballed the idea of turning the Hall of Presidents into a Hamilton musical in the Disney park featuring the Muppets.
Oh,
I was on board with it before you mentioned
that's brilliant.
The Muppets, but now I love it.
The Muppets make everything better. I was thinking. I know how you feel about animatronics. You've kind of alluded to how you feel about animatronics, right? So you're saying Hamilton. I'm thinking you're going to go animatronic Hamilton. And then you brought in Muppets. Oh, it's so good. That's
right, because there's already the Muppets out in Liberty Town Square, and they do those performances every once in a while, but there's never enough. And people always like gather in flocks to watch those shows. And half the time they don't even talk. So if you could get them in that Hall of Presidents area and you had a dedicated place, and I don't care if it's animatronics or if it's actual puppeteers there that are just rocking it out to Hamilton, I think that would be so cool. And because Hamilton has such an enormously popular soundtrack, I don't know that there's one song on that soundtrack that I don't know all the words to by heart. But I feel like you could update it all the time. And again, Lin-Manuel Miranda's awesome. So I'm sure he's going to make something new and then we could turn it into like Washington or Lincoln. That would be a sad one. But, something in the future.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
With the Muppets.
Hello there.
Right.
Now I'm trying to figure out who Beaker could be.
Luke.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But I was going to the charging station to get some power converters.
All right, who's next? Who's else got one?
Well, so I broke the rule on one.
All right.
I really like the multiverse idea with the Rock and Roller Coaster, so I don't like mine as much as that one. So I think I would go with yours, but I'll go ahead and throw mine out just as an idea. The one rule I broke is the location. So I would take where Rock and Roller Coaster is and swap it with the location of Muppet Vision and retheme the ride to Star Wars Rebel Academy. So the ride vehicles would be X-Wings. And so whenever you take off, you're punching it into light speed and you're fighting and you're inside, you're fighting you're destroying the Death Star. So you're doing the trench run and you get saved by the Millennium Falcon at the end. And so that becomes the original trilogy part of the park. So then I would retheme Star Tours to be the prequel trilogy. So prequel trilogy, then original trilogy, then sequel trilogy, and they'd all be connected kind of together in that one area of the park. So
that's awesome.
So good.
Yeah, that definitely. That
Of
sounds
course,
fun.
Gene's going to say that. Not that he loves Star Wars or anything.
That might be perfect.
but sorry,
It
sorry,
is, and that's the
Muppet
perfect ride for it, Kevin. It's like you said, taking off on the X-wing like that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot you can do. And I think it's real easy that they can just incorporate that whole section into Galaxy's Edge. And
Yeah.
you can just tear down a couple walls. And don't
There's
think
a
it
gap.
much.
The gap. They've got to do something with the gap between Star Tours and Galaxy's Edge
Mhm.
entrance, and that's where I was kind of stuck and trying to think of something there. But
Yeah. And if they would just, pull the Muppets out and throw them over into Magic Kingdom and let them
Make it
Hamilton
Hamilton.
it up,
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, you
Hamilton,
can't
there
get
you
rid
go.
of them. You still need Muppet presence.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
For sure.
Or Muppet Star Wars.
Muppet Star Wars would
The
be
Muppets
great.
can do everything. We just need a Muppet park.
They can.
Yeah.
They're
I mean, they've
amazing.
done Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic.
That was
Okay.
great. That was one of my
Everything.
favorite things on Disney Plus.
That Screaming Goat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. More of the Screaming Goat. I have one last idea, and Jeff hates this idea, but People Mover is super boring, guys. I'm sorry. I know People Mover has like an awkwardly huge following of people, and I got so tired of every day that the People Mover was down several months ago, and everybody was like, People Mover's still down. Oh my gosh, it's like an escalator. Go get on an escalator. That's it. So I thought about we should crank the speed up quite a bit, and we could make it Vanellope's Vroomin' vehicles.
Oh, nice.
Change all of the People Mover cars into fun, like bright colored candies. Light up the track that it goes on so that it looks like the World Wide Web, because that's in the latest movie, and make that speed go up and just zoom that sucker through. You can, incorporate all of those pieces of the WreckIt Ralph video game as you go through maybe Space Mountain area. You could put in cool video game noises. I don't know, anything, literally anything to make People Mover not so awful boring.
Good idea.
Like it. So when you go into the different buildings, it would be like she's going through a glitch or something like that.
Yes, into
Yeah.
different video games. I think that'd be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
I like
last
it.
one here.
What's that?
My last one is, I think, a big underused portion of Frontierland is Tom Sawyer Island. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's got potential, but you got the boat ride to get there that people just don't do it. So I think you need to do something that draws people over there, but it needs to be still periodic theme to that kind of area. So what about making that a Pocahontas area? So you can have a Pocahontas meet and greet. So she could be out there. You could have Grandmother Willow and a Miko and Flit kind of meet and greet through there too. Still just a walkthrough area. You don't want to completely gut it and change it. You still have the forts, so you can revamp the forts to make it more East Coast during colonial times style. Still have some sort of quick service restaurant stuff, but still keep it a walkthrough. But I think something new to get people excited to go over there. And if you throw a character attraction, or meet and greet, then people will definitely go over there. And if it's something obscure like Miko and Flit, people would really make it worth their time to head over there. So
I think it's a
was
good
my
idea.
last one.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's a
been
good
over
idea.
to Tom Sawyer Island.
Really?
So
Been a long
yeah,
time for
never.
me.
And
Oh.
as many times as we've been to Disney, never gone over there. I think this would give me a reason to take the kids over there. And like you said, you throw a character meet and greet over there and people will flock to it. Right.
Yeah.
So
Gene, Tom Sawyer Island is a little island. It's over between Haunted Mansion and Big Thunder Mountain. You have to take a river raft over. The big boat goes all the way around it, and then you can just kind of roam the island.
Who? I bet you. I mean, I know who Tom Sawyer is. I read Tom Sawyer. I mean,
You went to
kids
school
don't
with
know
him,
Tom
didn't you?
Sawyer.
Oh,
They are.
man.
I tell you, with friends like you guys, I don't. Who needs? You know. But seriously, kids don't know who Tom Sawyer is. That's a great
No.
idea, Jeff.
Yeah, I like
See,
it.
you see how I did that, Jeff? That's a compliment. You don't know nothing about that.
Right. So this is the moment where Jeff got mad at me because he came in and told me this fantastic idea about Pocahontas. And I was like, or It could be.
Or
It could be Princess and the Frog, since they're going to turn Splash Mountain into Princess and the Frog theme. That could be Mama Odie's. And down in the bayou, and then the Liberty Bell, you could have the gator on doing his jazz, and all of the exciting stuff.
that's cultural appreciation of Louisiana stuff. We don't go for that.
Yeah, who needs Louisiana?
Ouch.
Yeah. So I have a last one or two. Actually, it's either or. So Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. I mean, it's all right, but it's been there a long time, and I know there's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out, but I mean, there was 5 was it 5? Whatever, the Crystal Skulls. I don't think that it really drummed up a lot of excitement for this event, this attraction. My idea is either Hawkeye and Kate Bishop's stunt and archery spectacular, and so that could be bow and arrow stuff, like real bow and arrow, like get real archers, or some Disney magic, shooting apples off people's heads, whatever. Fighting the bad guys. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
All right. I think we've given Disney lots to think about. I'm super excited. Like, I know we have tons of Disney executives listening to the show. So, feel free to use any of the ideas, pass all of the awesome money on to us, and that'll be that. So I think it is time for everybody's favorite segment, Quacking Up with the Ducks, where all of our awesome hosts tell their really terrible dad jokes. Anybody ready to start us off?
Sure. So I don't know if a lot of folks know, but I'm from Michigan. It's in the north. It gets cold, right? So this time of year, it's chilly. I'm cold all the time. So when I get cold, I usually go sit in the corner for a little while. And that's because most corners are around 90 degrees.
Nice.
So I figured the other day I wanted to go and donate some blood. I think it's a good thing to do every once in a while. But I think this is the last time I'm ever doing it. There's just way too many questions when you go in. It's like, whose blood is this? Where did it come from? Why is it in a bucket? It's not worth it.
Nice. So several of my ideas were Marvel themed. So my question for you guys is, why were the Avengers fighting blind after Infinity War? They just lost their vision.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Everybody but Wanda laughed at that one.
Yeah.
Kevin?
All right. So I just started reading a book the other day. It's kind of boring. It's about anti-gravity. Only problem is I can't seem to put it down.
And to shock all of you, I have one.
Hey, all right.
I was so excited. And it's Star Wars themed. So I know that at least two of you will like it. Why is Yoda a fantastic gardener? Because he has a green thumb.
Nice. The Hulk too. Yeah. Nice.
So before we wrap up the show today, I just have another review that I'd like to read from Apple from one of our listeners. James Rothstein commented, "Great Disney podcast, such a great group of people." So
thanks.
We have somebody else. We have somebody else fooled. So that's so far 2 people we have tricked into this. But we appreciate all the comments and reviews people have been leaving for us on the various podcatcher things and YouTube and Apple. So if you have a minute, just please continue to do that for us. It helps us be found and share our links and keep participating in our community.
And a special shout out to James, because he's actually created a little something for our giveaway when we get to 200 followers on Facebook.
Which we're hoping by the time this comes out, we've already
hit it, but I can't wait to show off what he's made. Check him out on Instagram. It is Dreaming Tree MN, and he does some great woodworking. But I also wanted to send out a shout out to Teddy Snyder. He's new to the Disney with the Ducks group, but more importantly, he is the artist behind our new soundtrack intro. So he's done a rock version of the DuckTales theme song for us with his own special take. And we're going to be using pieces of it for the intro, for the outro. We're going to use it as much as we can because we all super love it. And
It's good.
so thank you, Teddy, so much for that.
Hey, if those folks think that we're a great group of people, they did think with Lonnie not here today, they're going to even love us even more. Right?
Look, you can get in your digs when he's not here.
Just joking, LG. We miss you.
All right. Well, that wraps up everything tonight. I do want to say, please check us out on Facebook. We are Disney with the Ducks. Check us out on Instagram at Disney with the Ducks. We are on Twitter, Disney with the D1. If you search hashtags and you would like to use some hashtags, you can hashtag show us your feathers and share your feathered friend pictures with us. Hashtag join the flock, and you'll be able to find us on Facebook that way. All kinds of ways that we are out there. And we appreciate all of you taking the time to follow us, like, subscribe, share, all the things, so that we can spread the laughter all the way around.
Usually a Gene.
Yes.
I do what I can. It's my gift to
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.
Kwaharini.
That's mine. You stole my.
Oh, waiting on it.
My sign off. Son of a.
I can do this.
I'm out.
I can do this all day.
I'm still waiting on all of you.